Today, we're going to be creating your own haunted house, and you are going to be an architect. So, you're going to be looking at creating your own haunted house pop up and coming up with the different elements like an architect would. So, to give you a little bit of some brief history about haunted houses, the origins date back to the 19th century back in London, where the first house was actually created as an attraction, which is the Orton and the Spooner house that you see on the left-hand side here. It wasn't until Walt Disney in 1969 made the Haunted House Mansion, or the Haunted Mansion, that it really became a cultural icon. So I don't know if you've gone to this Disney attraction, but it's really fun and it's a ride. There's elevators and so many different things that you experience as you go through it. Now, Walt Disney did not want to have a rundown building in his park, so he did some research. And here he researched the Winchester Mystery House. And what's neat about this house is it captivated him because it was such a massive mansion and it had stairs everywhere, stairs that led to nowhere, stairs that led to doors that would open up outside, or doors that would open up to a wall or to holes, and it had all these elevators. So there's a lot of history with that. And just to give you a quick little glimpse, if I click on this link, you'll be able to see the website itself. Here is going into it. So you see there's like a floor and a window so you could see downstairs, and a door that opens up to the outside. So it's a place that you can actually visit. Somebody did live there, but just to see, you can see all the fun architecture, and it's not scary, but it has all these things, doors that are on the ceilings and so many crazy stairs that lead to nowhere, etc. All right, so let's get started on our art project. Today you're going to be an architect, and we're going to make these amazing pop-up versions of haunted Halloween or haunted houses. You don't have to make it a haunted house, but you can make an old building. And a lot of architects, as they're designing and building them, will look and get ideas at other types of buildings out there and get inspired by them. So this is how we're going to begin doing this today. The first thing you're going to need is a piece of paper. You'll next need scissors, and you can either do this using a marker or a pencil. What you're going to do first is fold your paper in half, just like a book. Make sure you fold that crease really nice and tight. And then you're going to turn your paper so it faces you, and make sure that that fold is facing towards you. That's the most important part. Next, you're going to draw 2 lines on your paper. The goal is to make sure they're as equal as you can. If it's not perfectly equal, that's fine. Using your scissors, you're going to cut on those straight lines. Again, before you cut, make sure you're checking you're cutting on the fold. Before you open it, you're going to fold what you just cut up towards the top. This helps it when you go to open it up. So you'll see I'm going to gently open up what my fold is, and then it pops up almost like a chair with your paper. Pretty cool, right? You can fold some of the other creases to help it if you need to, but now what I want you to do is close it so it's inside, as you can see, right? I open it, there it is. And this is where I want kindergarten and first grade to stop, and you can skip ahead. But second grade through fourth grade, I think you can handle this next. challenge. We're going to add a top. So what I want you to do is do 2 more lines, but this time throw in a challenge of angling them. Again, try to make sure they're as close to being as possible, and then turn your paper around. Now comes the tricky part. You're not cutting through both papers, you're only cutting through that little top section. So as you're feeling around, make sure that you're not pinching and holding that bottom piece. You're sticking your scissors under and only cutting that top part. Same thing that you did with the bottom one, you're going to fold that up. And now when you open it, you're going to have your 2 stories, as you can see. So I'm just folding that, and there is our top, our roof, and our bottom portion of your house. Now let's grab a pencil or a pen. And so what I was showing you here is one of the ones that I previously did. And you can also see on the right hand side, I have a picture of it. So what we're going to start doing is working on the roof for, what parts are we going to do the roof style, as you can see the small one here and the larger one here. And then we'll start considering how we're going to do our door. So make your paper nice and flat. And the next thing I'm going to do is take out my marker and I'm going to draw the lines for where my roofs are. Let's draw a line where our roofs are. And this is the top of this roof here, right? And this is the top of this roof here and here. Perfect. Now, let's draw in our lines for our roof. You can do a wavy line all the way through, like this. So now I have my roof, but I'm not touching the inside. This one's my other roof too, and you can do some straight lines like this for your roof on this one. Then we're going to add in our window. So here, let's do a window. We're going to do a nice big rainbow. And then we're going to do a line down and across. So there's our fun, creepy window. Fantastic. Now on the top of this roof, maybe you want to add a little fun old chimney. And then let's add some fun wonky things off the side. So off here, I'm going to draw a rectangle and have it come in. And then I'm going to make a wonky window off of that too. And do my line. And then we'll add in a fun triangle. And you can add in your little waves. You could do the same thing over here. Your haunted house is kind of angled. Add your fun window. Add a roof to it. Maybe this one has a big hole. Something happened. And I'll do my wavy roof and my line. So now we've got the start up here. If you want to have a spider's web coming off of it, let me zoom in so you guys can see. Okay, so to do your spider web, you're going to do 3 lines, and then you're just going to do a wave across it. And there's your fun little spider web. And then you add in your little spider. And they got 4 legs on each side. And you can do a little zigzag line there. So now I've got my spider web and my spider. And then let's move down to the front, our door part here. So I didn't want us to have to cut another roof. So kindergarten through first did one cut, and second through fourth, you guys can do that second story cut at the top up there. So as you can see, let me rebend it. It comes back together like that. So you can kind of see it coming through. So on this bottom part here, let's do one line here and another one angled. And then you're going to connect it. Now, I always, to draw a straight line for myself, I like to turn the paper towards me, and then I can draw a straight line towards myself. And remember, it doesn't have to be exactly straight because it's a haunted house, and that's typically how those are a little strange themselves, right? So add in your roof lines if you want them to be straight or wavy or however it is that you wanted for a fun roof. And then the next thing, we're going to do the pillars. So what I'll do here is I'm going to make it thick on both sides. This is what's holding up this small little portion here. And then however you want your door to be. Do you want it to be square? Do you want it to be kind of falling apart where it's wonky like this? So it's an interesting door. Is your door closed? Is it open? So you can add in whatever fun features that you want for it. I might have mine opening here. And what I did, and I'm sure if you wanted to, you can draw a ghost. So to draw my ghost, I started with a rainbow kind of on its side. And I did another loop off of that. And then all I did was just do a wavy line. So it kind of almost looks like a little bit of a bat. And then for the eyes, I'll zoom in here. I made them long ovals, and then I did a long oval mouth. So there's my little ghost. And when we go to color these in, you can use some fun colors like yellow will really stand out, and orange will make it kind of pop off a little bit better too. So then on the sides here, I wanted a few more windows for me. You don't have to, but I made these really tall windows. And again, they don't need to be straight. They could be a little bit wonky too, because your house is falling apart. So mine's a little interesting, right? Now that we did the inside, we did the house itself, the haunted house, what we want to do next for our architectural piece is add in some stairs, because this is our entrance. So where I cut, or the bottom here, so I'll draw it here so you guys can see it a little bit better. Here's my line for where I folded, right? And I did 2 lines coming off the side. The next thing I did is I just drew a line coming together like this. And then off the sides, I have these lines. Draw a straight line down. And I do it again. I'm going to straight across. And I did 3 for my other one. If you want to do 2, depending on where how big your house was. Like for this one, I don't have as much space as I did on this one here. So I can leave 2 here. You can make a gravel road coming up to it. You can make a, maybe this one's going to be these big kind of pebbled rocks. And they get larger and larger because I'm all the way out here, but they could be smaller up close, right? So it's really however you feel like you want this to look and be. It's your story. It's up to you. All I did on this particular one was draw some wavy lines and then did some quick little lines to make it look dirt-like. The next thing is you want to have where your ground is, because just like we do in art, we talk about perspective. Things in the back are usually smaller when they're far away. Things in the middle ground are kind of in between, and things that are right close at you are going to be really big. So the rocks here where I'm standing will be really big, right? So to help our eye, we're going to pretend you have the shakiest hand and go shake. And that's how I made this little line. So my line for my ground is really wobbly. And it kind of gives you an idea. It doesn't have to be perfect. So this one I have like almost looks like grass, and this one I just did a little bit wavier and it just looks like a lot of dirt. You can have ghosts or different things hiding, coming out. You can have a full moon somewhere. Maybe on this one I'm going to draw my moon in the background, so I'm going to just draw this big arch, and here's my moon. And I can have some clouds coming across it because, it's a full moon. And then if you want to have a few bats, to draw that, I usually do an oval. And then I put 2 little triangle ears. And I do a rainbow on each side. And then I do a zigzag line to make the wings. So here's my big bat, and then you just color it in. So I can have a tinier one. You just do an oval, make 2 little triangle ears, rainbow on each side, and then a zigzag or the letter M or W, and you can make the little bat. You can also add in a fun fence or pumpkins. So for this side here, if you want to have a graveyard, you can do the gravestones. To have them nice, kind of building off of each other. You could do another rainbow on top. So this becomes your choice. I added in a tree on my other one. So to draw a tree, you just start with some lines that are wobbly. And you keep building it up. And you can make little branches off of it. I had the roots coming out a little bit on the bottom of my other one. You can have an owl sitting on here, or a ghost coming out of it from behind it, which looks like a kind of a raindrop. You can make these fun little ghosts. And then what I also ended up doing was having my fence. So to do my fence, I did small little triangles. And I had them on different angles like they were broken. And then I just did straight and an angled line. So it looked like it was falling apart. And I added in a couple pumpkins. So to do our pumpkin, you start with an oval, and I'll zoom in here so it makes it a little bit easier on us. And I did the little lines on the side. So you start from the top and you come around and meet on the bottom. Start on the top, come around and meet on the bottom. And there is, you add a stem and you have one pumpkin. If you want a pumpkin behind it, do another oval. Go from the top and make an angle on, kind of like a backward C. And you can keep making it bigger and bigger until you get your other pumpkin. So as you're making your house, add in different fun textures and lines and just start telling your story. You can have a scarecrow back here. You could have some hills. You could even add in some mountains that are in the mountain, the background way back there. It's really up to you, whatever you want the story to be. So I've got this hilly landscape. Maybe there's snow all the way back here. You never know. You can have some trees. Remember, your trees are going to be small if they're all the way in the back. Okay? So this is yours. Once you do that, the next session that you'll get together is you'll start coloring. Make sure once you're done that you finish coloring in everything on your paper, and then you can unfold it and just see how it looks as a pop-up. You can also add in a piece of construction paper behind it, and that will allow it to stick up a little bit more fully for you. So there you go. I know in my drawing I didn't complete all of the coloring, but I always like to leave a little bit up to your imagination and what you come up with. Can't wait to see what each of you create.